Imagine a turn toward darkness, not the kind that wears a costume or a sneer, but a quieter transformation, the sort where your features remain unchanged, yet your internal rules flip. You stop seeking applause and begin seeking authority. True evil is subtle, and only subtleties survive the years. Here's the contradiction. The world claims to fear evil, but offers it respect in the shadows. Self-interest draws contempt, but also bows. Those who withhold approval are disliked, yet others crave their recognition. In that fragile balance between scorn and admiration, that's Machiavelli's territory. That's the birthplace of dominion. This isn't self-improvement advice. Don't look for inspiration here. This is about shedding illusions until the game's raw mechanics come into focus. See it once, and the view never fades. That's the danger. So let's start with weakness. It doesn't whisper through trembling hands anymore. Weakness today shouts. It craves constant explanation, justification, and proof. The powerless are always the first to speak, the quickest to defend, desperate to fill the air. Over time, those listening stop listening. Every unnecessary explanation, every pursuit of reassurance chips away at your authority. The loss isn't immediate but accumulates. Doors quietly close, choices shrink. That's the bill. Evil's first step isn't accumulation, it's reduction. Cut away the noise. Add silence, indifference, and a refusal to react on demand. Envision a crowded table, debates, bargains, voices darting through the air. Only one sits still, not as a bystander but as a force. Others tire while he absorbs. Eventually, someone addresses him. "What's your opinion?" His response holds more gravity than all the commotion before. Not for genius, but for the anticipation built. That's the first lever. Silence broadcasts dominance. But silence alone is insufficient. Without intent, it is mere emptiness. Mastery lies in the timing, when to withhold, when to release. Machiavelli's true edge is cultivated in that rhythm. Invisible tests run everywhere. The world probes you for weakness, not for favors, but as an experiment. It prods for leaks, emotional stitches that unravel under pressure. Favor requests, minor challenges, subtle pushes, each a scan for your reaction. The strong recognize this data. The weak offer it freely. Recall that moment of being overlooked, words passing through uninterested ears, a friend more inclined to talk over than to listen. Not by chance. It's all part of the test. Fail once and it intensifies. Fail twice and it becomes your unspoken job. Yet you can reverse it. A silent maneuver flips the dynamic, not by confrontation, but by outmaneuvering their script. Pause to absorb this. The world doesn't penalize virtue, it penalizes transparency. If all of you is visible, all of you becomes leverage for others. Guarded calmness makes people lean in, question, adjust. They second-guess themselves. Doubt tips the scale, because turning evil is not cruelty but mystery. It is opacity. Picture a locked door. Curiosity grows when you conceal what's behind it. People attribute worth to what they can't easily grasp. Machiavelli taught, better feared than loved if you can't be both. The modern rule, it's better to be unreadable than liked if liking comes at the cost of your boundaries. True power isn't friendly. It thrives in unspoken uncertainties. Remember the silent man at the table. His reticence worked because withholding caused imbalance. Hunger for his perspective grew. When he finally spoke, absence amplified his words. Silence, used well, is not just nothingness. It's the scaffolding of presence. There exists a sharper, colder lever, one so effective that individuals with less resources, allies, status, can dominate those with more. It's not wit or charm, but a different trait entirely. Notice this. Setbacks in your past didn't come from superior logic or being debunked. You lost ground when you acted too fast, revealed your intentions prematurely. Silence isn't an empty canvas. It's a debt waiting to be paid. But it's not enough for victory. You need a lever that collects payment. This is where excessive talking fails, and needy gestures reveal dependence. Those who strive to be understood, filling each pause with arguments, are really uncovering their reliance on outside approval. My stability depends on your acceptance, they signal. From that moment, their strength evaporates. The lever is quiet refusal. Not rage, not open defiance, but the power to say a calm no. To withdraw just enough that others begin chasing. The colder your stance at first, the deeper trust grows over time. This may sound counterintuitive, but its effectiveness comes from the paradox. The one holding back holds the most cards. Imagine, silence is the locked door, refusal the secret key. Demand rises every time you deny quick access. Used wisely, refusal reshapes relationships. Others begin to explain, to prove, to earn. The supposed villain sets the terms. A brief tale. A man with little entered tough negotiations. His adversary had everything: resources, supporters, leverage. Most expected him to fold. He didn't plead or argue. He simply said, "That won't work for me," and remained silent. The silence grew. His opponent filled it anxiously with better offers. The man of less walked away with more than anyone anticipated. He didn't battle harder. He withheld smarter. That's refusal at work. Notice how the powerful end up chasing. That's the paradox Machiavelli knew. People crave what resists them more than what comes easily. Apply this everywhere. At work, don't rush to justify an overload. Answer sparsely. Say no gently. Let the quiet do the heavy lifting. In relationships, don't explain your every move. Be cool at first, warm later. Delayed warmth feels real. In digital spaces, the one who posts little but with meaning commands more influence than the loudest voice. The rule holds everywhere. Economy of words, rise in influence. Beware, refusal isn't arrogance. Real arrogance is just another form of neediness, hidden. Surgical refusal is soft, never dramatic. It doesn't announce independence, it simply embodies it. That's the critical difference. And here's the unexpected twist. Reserved openness early brings lasting trust. It proves your yes carries value, that you never peddle yourself quickly. Scarcity translates into worth. Link back to that ongoing test. The world waits for leaks, signs of fragility, no resistance, no chase. Every calm refusal is a past test. Now others expose their eagerness, scramble for validation, worry about losing you. That's true leverage. Yet it's also a risk. Over-apply refusal, and relevance fades. Use it carelessly, and you cross into destructiveness. That's not power. That's ruin. The method isn't constant denial, but setting a tempo. Move only when your action will make the room tremble. You'll spot this everywhere. The leader who speaks last and briefly, while the team strains for approval. The influencer who posts rarely, but each time alters the conversation. The partner who gives space, then returns with welcome warmth. The underlying theme, initial chill, later reward. That's durable power. One last insight. The silent man's dominance didn't come just from restraint. If he'd relented and talked too much, his silence would have faded. Instead, he remained strategic, releasing only what's necessary, never indulging curiosity completely. That's the lever. Controlled refusal. The power to withhold without fear. Eventually you realize how little the outside world genuinely controls you. Each yes is your choice, not just a reaction. That shift, from reaction to deliberate choice, is the root of so-called evil. People may call it cold, distant, even harsh. Let them. It keeps your vision sharp, posture strong, readiness intact. Good luck.